What's up, everybody? Stephen A. Williams with Making Money with Stephen A. Williams here on YouTube. Waiting on a meeting that might be coming up. I wanted to make a quick video to talk about. I just saw the news report about Party City. And the crazy thing about what happened with Party City is that they just told everybody today was their last day of work. Like, there was no notice. Like, no notice. Today is the last day. December the 20th, 2024. So these workers went to work and then they were told today is your last day of work. And it's crazy. So I want to make this video for two main reasons. Two main reasons, but one of them is going to just be so important to you. If you work for someone, and I am not saying that it is not okay or good or, to work for someone, because everybody can't be a business owner. I'm here to tell you, I used to have this grandiose mind thought process that everybody can learn to be in business. That is not true. Everybody cannot run a business. So if you find where you are working for someone, because there's a lot of there's benefits to not have to work. I mean, to not own a business. You don't gotta. Everything's not on your shoulders. You don't have to worry about bringing in the income. You can go home at 5 o'clock or whatever time you get off, and everything could just evaporate. You don't have to worry about the business, and then you just come into work on time the next day. So there's a lot of benefits to not owning a business. But there's one important thing that you need to understand when you don't own the business. And I don't know if you remember the cartoon where they used to have I think it was Bugs Bunny or one of those, where they would pull the rug out from under the other cartoon character. And that is something that you have to understand, that the rug was pulled out from under the Party City employees today. And if you work for somebody at any time, especially with the new administration that's coming in, is that you could be let go for any reason, whatever. The boss or the owner comes in and says, I just want to change all of this stuff around. And they could just let everybody go and start over. As a matter of fact, let me let you in on something that I've learned as I've grown my businesses, is that there's going to be a group of people when you start the business that are the employees, and they can get you to a certain level. And then to get to the next level, you have to upgrade those employees, or you actually have to make the hard choice and let those employees go so you could get to the next level. And then it goes on and on and on. That's just the way that business works. And so if you're working for a company, you have to concentrate on moving yourself up those levels if the business is a business that's growing. In the case of Party City, if I was an employee working for Party City, I would never be comfortable being just an employee in one of the stores. I would always try to fight to move up in management. I know this of me because when I was in the Army, even though I haven't worked for anyone since I was 21 years old, I'm 57 years old now. When I was in the U.S. Army, I'll even go before that. When I was 15 years old, I worked at a restaurant bussing tables. And I was like, this isn't gonna, I don't like doing this job. Then I went and got a job at TJ Maxx. I'm 15 years old, went to TJ Maxx. Did the job so good on the register, they promoted me to the cash office. What is the cash office? That's where all of the registers came in at the end of the night. Now, for a 15-year-old, I must admit it was tough because I had to finish that before I could go home, and I had school the next day on some of those days. But That's what I'm talking about. They saw that in me and they was like, we're going to promote you to cash officer. So that means that all of the cash I had to balance to make sure that none of the registers were short, and then add up everything at the end of the night, credit card charges, everything. You're talking about thousands of dollars. As a 15-year-old, trusted with this. And also my best friend David, he also got promoted to that. And he's a very successful. He doesn't own a business, but he works for a very successful software company right now. But we both got promoted to that position. And then when I, graduated high school, went to the United States Army, it clicked. At first, I was just cruising along, and then it clicked again. Like, Steve, you can't just be a regular soldier. You got to do things to get yourself promoted. It got promoted for first promotion, second promotion, third, fourth promotion. I didn't go to sergeant because I was like, I wanted to be a business owner and I'm going to get out, even though they said they would give me a bonus and promote me to sergeant. Said, forget that. I love the military, but I don't love it that much. I got out the military when I was 20 years old. I went in at 18, got out at 20 before my 21st birthday. And my wife and I, even before starting the business, the job that I got was a third shift security guard job at a local college from 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. in the morning. Even with that job, I said, I can't just be a regular security guard. How do I get promoted? Excuse me. They said, this is the way you get promoted. Gave me this test. I passed the test, got promoted. They gave you these lieutenant, and then you got promoted to captain. That was the way that they did it. I thought I was big time because I was a captain now, even though in the Army I was enlisted. But then again, I was like, I don't want to have my livelihood in someone's hand. I want more. So then my wife and I started our publishing business. So made that business very successful. It took time. It was not overnight. We did not make a lot of money at the beginning, but we made enough to where I didn't have to work that job anymore, and we concentrated fully on our business. Grew it into a very successful company. It's still here. That same company, even though it's made a transformation to digital, same company is still here, making money from something that we put together more now than about to go on 35 years ago. But here's the thing. Over that whole time, I had to make decisions on hiring people, firing people, letting certain people go because the business was moving up, transitioning to doing more. And that employee, if they didn't want to move up, I had to let them go because you can't keep that employee, because if you keep that employee, the business stays down and you need to keep continuing moving up for the business. And I remember one of my employees, his name was Elon. He's passed away now. And a gentleman named Matthew was Eugene was very good salespeople, but they were older gentlemen. They knew how to sell. They knew how to talk to people. They knew how to go out, bring in money. They were some of my best salespeople. But there was a point where I had to upgrade, and they refused to upgrade, and I had to let them go because I had to, knew more in today. Well, in that I'm talking about in the early 2000s, I had to do that. So people that were, a little bit more into what was going on at that time. These gentlemen were a lot older than me, and so they didn't really understand. They didn't want to transition. They just thought things were going to remain the same. I knew stuff wasn't going to remain the same, but I understand how it feels to think things will remain the same. And I did get caught. If you've seen my story about what happened with my publishing company, I did get caught thinking that things would stay the same. So everybody, none of us are immune to this. But so if you're working for somebody, you're going to have to figure out how to move yourself up, how to be inexpensible. because if you don't, you're gonna find yourself, out there like some of these people. And don't worry about being the best employee, because if you're the best employee, I'm telling you, this is what will happen. I've been on both sides of this. Somebody will either they're gonna either pay you more money. Somebody's gonna come and offer you a job because they're gonna see that you're doing very good. I've done that. I've done both of those for people. Or you're going to leave because you believe your value is more and you're going to find something better, which was what I did when I left the Army, and which is what I did when I started my own business and left the security guard job. But I will admit that each one of those took a lot of mental strength, because when you have someone who is getting the money and paying you, it takes away a level of insecurity, even though it's really the reverse. When you're in control and you know how to generate your own money to survive and thrive, because it's not just about surviving, you have more security than you do working at a job. Not to say, again, that everybody has it within them to run a business. So, lesson number one is that if you work for somebody, you need to understand that the rug can be pulled from underneath you. It doesn't matter how big the company is. So don't get comfortable thinking that that can't happen. Don't go to work thinking it can happen. Go to work being the best you can be and try to move yourself up in your company. If you own a business, if you want to get into a business, my number one advice is to figure out how you make money with the business and concentrate on that until money starts to come in. I just launched my new AI company, and it's moving along. I still generate money from the manual side where I have employees doing the work, but I transition that company over to where it's AI and it does everything on its own. And people are interested, but people are not buying yet. They're very interested, but they're not buying yet. So what would you do in that situation? I just want to pick your brain to see what you would do. Because I'm going to tell you what you should do, and I'm going to tell you also what most people do. Well, first, what most people will do is that they will just run and think something is not right about their ads, not something's not right about. They look at all of this stuff that's not really part of the matter. If your ads is getting people to go there, then it's done its job. What you have to do is you have to understand where is your business in the mind of the consumer. If your business, let's just say it's something new that people don't even know they have this problem, then you have to your business has to attack it from making people aware that you had this problem. Like you see this a lot with those drug companies. Like they'll be like, they come up with this weird name and say like, you got this ringing in your ear, and you're like, I didn't have no ringing in my ear, and then all of a sudden you'd be like, I got this ringing in my ear. Or the people who got the ringing in their ear, they just thought it was just a ringing in their ear, and now they're being aware that that is a problem, that people have this ringing in their ear. Like I think they call it tinnitus. I didn't even know what it was. It was ringing in the ear. So when they have to make people aware, and then they offer a solution. Where I'm at with my new AI company is people know they are fully aware because they get sued by debt collectors. So they know. They just don't know what to do. So now they got to figure out, okay, either hire an attorney, or I can do this myself, or hey, this Summons Master AI solution, will that work? And so where do you think in the mindset of individuals, where are they at? They're in their mindset is, can this work for me? So you have to demonstrate, yeah, this can work for you. So you have to do a demonstration for them so they can say, okay, yeah, that could work, and then they'll try it out. Now, your business could also be in another level where it's competition all over the place doing it, and but it's pretty much where you still have an opportunity to get yourself out there. Then what you have to do is you have to make your unique solution, even though it's the same as everybody else, you got to make it look unique. If it doesn't look unique, people who have tried stuff, they're going to be like, I've tried that, it didn't work. That's why you'll see these pills come out and they'll be like, we got this fat absorbing pill that will sop up all the fat in your stomach like a biscuit, and you use the bathroom and then come out, or this quick absorbing, or this pill will stop the absorption of fat in your system. Like, they'll come up with these mechanisms that say, yeah, everybody's out here selling stuff, but ours is different because it does this. That's called a unique mechanism. The fourth level, though, is where you could have the unique mechanism, but you got to show all of these results. And as a matter of fact, in all levels, well, except for the first one, you do got to show people that have good experience with the product or the service. But the fourth level is where it's blown up. People always, they didn't hear all these gimmicks. Like my Aunt Sylvia said, you got to have a gimmick. They done heard all the gimmicks. So what you have to do is you got to go full blast with testimonials. Like, it's got to be just all over the place. You see this a lot with marketing programs or courses or stuff. They're going to just blow it up out there. Just say, I help so-and-so, so-and-so. That's why people ask for reviews, all of this stuff. And then still people, here's the crazy thing, even with all the testimony and reviews, it still may not work for them. And you can watch my videos on why it won't work for them. I won't go into that on here, even though the product can come through. Because I'll just briefly state, a lot of stuff that you're trying to do to become successful or to change your life, lose weight, all of this stuff, it still comes down to us. How do we think about ourselves? Do we think that we deserve it? All right, so yeah, I just wanted to jump on, throw that out there, talk about that, because I think it's important. I know a lot of people on here are looking at starting their own business, and I just wanted to get that information out to you. Please like, subscribe, post your questions and comments. Stephen A. Williams with Making Money with Stephen A. Williams here on YouTube.